Hi guys, welcome back to Overtime Heroics MMA. We're joined today by Ben Schneider, professional light heavyweight fighter. How you doing, Ben?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Did I get the second name right? Yeah.
Yeah, Schneider. Yeah. Good.
Sometimes my pronunciations aren't the best. I was doing a podcast with like a band, and I was talking to the lassie for like an hour, and it was just an hour in. She went, "You do know you're saying the name of the band wrong." She always thought it was the Ronians, and she was going, "No, you do realise it's the Ronains." You get like no rains, and then you get it. And I was at.
At least you waited an hour.
What?
At least you waited an hour to tell you.
I know. I was saying it right for ages. But, so we'll come back to you, Ben, since it's your interview, no mine. So how did you end up getting started in MMA?
I mean, like a lot of people, I always felt a little bit restless as a child. Let's say, full of energy, and I don't know. I just always needed to be doing something, and when I wasn't doing something, I felt lost. I feel lost like this last year with training being on a decline, no shows, and just work and home life, and that's great. I love spending time with my family and things, but I felt lost. So I started doing kickboxing, and I did like it, but of course, as it is, I moved around a lot as a child, and then obviously you can't train at the same clubs, and you move on different areas, but people are doing different things. And then I boxed, and then I always liked, like WWF wrestling, and then Olympic wrestling. And before I knew it, I was in a mixed martial arts class, and it just steamrolled from there. It wasn't ever a plan for me to be a fighter or to be a champ or whatever. I just loved training. And then when someone said, there's a show coming up, I just said, yeah.
And then that you've no looked back since?
No. And it's like I say, my wife always says when I retire, I'm going to be a nightmare, because when I don't have anything to focus on, or as I put it, which is probably not the best way to put it, something to look forward to. I know, life's great while you've got it. I'm going to be a nightmare when I finally do retire.
No, that sounds very reasonable, to be fair, because your whole life has kind of been dictated around training for a fight, looking after your body after a fight, like the whole kind of fight camp. So when that's taken away for you, it's like you must be like losing a leg.
Yeah,
because you just lose a big part of who you are, and for a lot of people can't hack that.
No.
Because when you started in 2000, like that, you had your first fight in 2009. So
yeah, I have 2009, and since then I fought every year, multiple times a year. Even last year, I managed to squeeze a fight in, one fight last year. So this is the longest I've gone without doing anything, without fighting.
So how's the landscape of MMA changed since 2009?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, when it'd been going a few years by then, and I really wasn't a big follower of any sport. I just sort of always did my own thing. So when I started, it just felt great. You go to a locker room, or even leading up to a fight, and all the fighters, whether they knew each other or not, everyone's on the same journey. We're all heading in the same direction. We all want to, and everyone sort of helped everyone. And I think over, and it wasn't really about the money back then. It was about the fights, who's the best, this guy from that area, that guy from that gym. And I love that. And I, believe it or not, with the way some of my fights have gone, I do want to be one of the best. So which is why I'm more than happy to get in there with the best. But I mean, it's changed over the past couple of years, and it's become more money orientated, and you've seen a lot more of. Again, I'm stuck in the Stone Age, so I can only talk from my own experience and my own beliefs. Is that you might get the odd one or two show, and they sort of then let a big ticket seller dictate, you know, who they fight, rather than it being done via a matchmaker trying to match the best fighter against the best match to make the best fight. But I still think everybody, every fighter and every coach, every team should work towards this like community, because we're not governed, you know, there's no like real governing body, but I feel the people I deal with, and the shows I deal with, and the matchmakers and the coaches, I feel, you know, they're my friends. I know I might be fighting their boys or whatever, but I feel we should be a stronger community together, you know, and everybody try to move forward to make it a better sport.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, and I think that's something that you see a lot in Scottish MMA. There seems to be a bit of, it's quite evident in Scottish culture. You probably have seen this at your works, and we spoke about off air that you work in Scotland, but Scotland's quite tribalistic.
Yeah.
And you see that a lot of the times with the gyms, and it's like you say, that should be more of a community, and there is a lot of gyms that do that, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, there is.
It would just be great to, as you say, for like the whole collective of like UK martial arts to kind of come together more. And you're seeing it happening more and more now. Like you're seeing a lot of guys for like Scotland going down to England, guys for Wales, England.
Yeah.
So it is getting more like a community, but as you said, it would be an amazing thing you see, and it would really help like UK martial arts finally catch up with the Americans.
Yeah, I know, and that's it. But like you say, over the past 2-3 years, like you said, there's been a real ramp in it. I mean, I've and no disrespect to anyone. Again, this is me just commenting on my thoughts and my opinions. Because I've constantly worked all over the country, and my gyms and things like that have been different ones. 9 times out of 10, I go to shows without a corner team. Okay, and that, you know, and that's fine. That's whatever's happening behind the club with me and the gyms I'm with. But sometimes you go there and no one will talk to me. I'm just sat in the locker room. But over the past couple of years, you're seeing it. People coming in and they're going, "Hey, are you on your own? Yeah, well, let me help you out. Let me warm you up. If you need anyone to corner me, let me." And I mean, that's what it is. We're all fighters. We're all individuals. We're all different teams, but we're all heading towards the same goal. And I think that's great when you see that.
Yeah, that's true, and it's good to see that people are starting to kind of warm to guys backstage and realise that at the end of the day, it's two guys getting in the cage, and it's their kind of competition. It's no, but kind of outside influences shouldn't be playing a part, and it shouldn't get like kind of mean girls at school where
That's it.
Where people are like throwing shade at events, like you see it, people like gyms arguing at events, kind of on social media, wee tit for tats. That should, especially in the local scene, like that's all well and good when you're at the UFC and you're at press conferences and you're making mega money, and this kind of stuff gets you mega money. But the regional scene, should just be about like kind of learning the craft and helping to perfect the craft.
Yeah, that's it. Because you know, at the end of the day, I'm not one of those guys who waste time arguing verbally. You know, that to me, that's nothing. And especially running, you know, like you say, no one's paying us millions of pounds, so why for months leading up to it wasting our valuable time? And it is an emotional thing as well to have a smack talk or run down your opponent. That's emotional, and that's emotionally draining on both halves. And I'm just not one of those guys that like wastes all that energy and going in. And people message me and they say, oh, it's because he doesn't care. I care. I care a lot, and I sacrifice a lot. And like after my last fight, I mean, I went back to the hotel, you know, and I sat there and I was in bits, because coming off 2 great fights and then obviously having a year off and going in. I mean, okay, if I'd have and again, people pull me on saying this, winning and losing is whatever. For me, it's the fight, and what annoys me is not the fact that I lost, it's the fact that I didn't get to fight. And again, that's down on me.
Yeah.
So it's difficult.
It is, and I think for a lot of people, like for people that saying because you don't engage in trash talk that you don't care, I think that's a very ludicrous opinion, and it's
yeah,
because some of like the best fighters in the UFC, like guys like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he can never be
yeah.
nicer about people. Like,
No.
and even in the regional scene as well, like some of the big names in the regional scene, they don't talk shit because they don't need to. They don't feel like they don't feel like they've got anything to prove.
No, that's it, and that's it. I've got a lot to prove to myself, but I've got nothing to prove. Like even when I put my posts out there, they're just about the fight, and I'm gonna, blah blah blah. I very rarely even talk about my opponents because we're gonna go and fight at the end of the day. It would be you know what I mean. At the end of the day, we're gonna get in there. We're gonna fight. That's where we're gonna talk. Let's just focus on training camp. Let's get ready. But that's the problem with social media. It's giving people that wouldn't have a voice normally a voice to inbox you, comment, and I don't talk. But I talk. If someone asks me questions, I answer them. I'm not ignorant, but I'm not going to get in a slanging match because it's a waste of time, on both parties.
Just out of curiosity, and obviously you don't need to name drop or anything here. Are the guys messaging you? Are they fighters or are they just
No, they're not. No, they're not fighters. No.
Well, and
that says it all.
In the nicest way possible. Fuck they guys. They're jealous because they don't have the balls to go in the cage and do it. That's how they chat shit on. That's how they chat shit on the internet. Because they don't have to go and say it to somebody's face. They don't have the balls to go in a cage or in a sparring match with someone. So fuck them.
Yeah, no, you are right, 100%.
So we kind of touched on it a wee bit earlier, but what's been the biggest impacts that MMA's had on your life as a whole?
I mean, sadly, I had like a bit of a rocky upbringing, and like I say, I was a bit of a wayward character. I think I still am a little bit today, but a bit of a loner, whatever. At some point, I can't remember when I was just work and then started drinking, and then pretty soon I was just about drinking. And I lost a lot of things that I had that were good, and I lost a lot of opportunities and people through that. And then, like I say, when I've got a fight to focus on, I didn't drink, or I didn't go out, or because I was training the next day. And don't get me wrong, we all have ups and downs, but the biggest impact it's had on me is it's given me the ability to travel the world. It's given me focus. It's given me the ability to look at myself and not ridicule, but be honest. I'm an honest guy, and maybe I'm too honest about myself, but that's me. And without it, for the past 11 years or whatever, I don't know where I would have been. So I know it sounds cliche, and I know you hear it all the time, but it's gave me a reason, which is why I get so upset when fights don't go the way I they should go. It's given me a reason to carry on.
That's completely understandable. How you can get upset when things don't go that way in fight night, because you've sacrificed a large part of your life for each fight. Like every time you go in the gym, like every sparring match, like you're coming out a wee bit less and a wee bit less. You're putting your body through unimaginable things to the average, to people who have never stepped foot in a martial arts gym or been through a session. I don't think it really tricks on how hard it is and everything that you need to do in the build-ups. It's not just a 10-15 minute fight. It's 6 months of preparation.
Yeah.
It's 6 months of losing time with your family as well, not getting to put the kids to bed, missing that kind of quality time. So sometimes when you see fighters getting a bit of shit online because how they reacted to a loss, it kind of angers you a wee bit, because you wish people could see what guys like yourself go through in a fight camp, what you give up, just to really
that's it. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I have a great family, a great support system. I mean, I'm only home 3 days out of every month, because of the rotation with work. And even when I'm home, still go and train, and it's not an issue. It's just we've got a deal that when I'm 40, I'll retire, but I'm 33 now, and it saddens me when I think about it. So I think I might try and talk around on that one. But yeah, I mean, even up here, you know, we work 12-hour days or 10 to 12-hour days. Then I go train. Because of COVID, I've had to buy an infrared sauna for my room, which is great. So I'm still sauning, I'm still running. But yeah, but then when I go in there, and you know, that's what's good about having good coaches around you, you know, like Jordan Miller and Stu Tyree and the rest and everybody else, is that they see me when I train. That's why they still work with me, and they say, you know, and that's what upsets me as well. I don't want to be a gym hero. I don't want to be a guy that can do it in the gym and have great rolls, great spar, and then when the lights are on, I don't perform, and you hear about them, and I just don't, you know, if that's the way it's going to be, and I retire and I've just been a gym hero, but at least I know I've tried, at least I know I've carried on, and I've got in there and I've tried. And I have had some great fights, but some just doesn't cut it when you've had so many losses.
I feel it's that way as well. What you've accomplished in life, like just figuring into that cage, that is something that not many people in the world can say they've done. No, everybody in the world can say they went in and had a professional mixed martial arts fight against fellow professional mixed martial arts fights, and you fought some really great guys. So I feel looking back at your career now, you can have a great sense of pride, and like telling your kids and your grandkids later down the line, and you can say it with a smile on your face that you went in and done it, and you show every time you go in there like great belief in yourself, and it was like what the interview you had with Lewis Simpson, and you were saying like, how could you tell your kids never to give up if you give up in mixed martial arts? And that was a quote that was really powerful, and I think a lot of people can take a lot from that.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, especially when you love it. I mean, again, people say, oh, you know, whatever they say, but I mean, I think about it all the time. I'm not a violent guy. Like if we were in a pub or on the street, I'd be the last person to get involved. But I think about it, but I think about great fights, if you know what I mean. I go back and I watch old fights that probably people have never seen, but they were great fights. Maybe not two of the greatest athletes, but great fights, and that's what I want. But yeah, like you say, I've got all the belief in myself, which is travel the world on my own to fight, you know, people on their home soil. But sometimes I don't have belief in my abilities. And they're two different things, which is something I'm learning over the past 2 years, that just self-belief and belief in your abilities, they're two different things.
Yeah, because that can be the difference maker in a fight as well, can't it? Like if you've got this slight bit of hesitation in there, then it could be game over, especially when it's guys like your size that hit as hard as you guys do. It's you need to be completely focused.
Yeah. And people make that mistake as well. People say, oh, yeah, but you lost. But you try and come down, yeah, but I lost against another professional fighter. You know, I didn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't beaten up in Asda. This was a thing, like, you know. So I'm, you know, but it's just one of them things, like I say, I just move forward. I've got so many good things to look forward to. I'm traveling as soon as restrictions allow. I'm going traveling again, fighting again, and as well as some great shows coming up in the UK and everything. I was meant to be fighting again in Scotland, but sadly that show's been postponed, so that's been pushed back. But I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult because again, I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't show. I mean, sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. But that doesn't cut the mustard. I don't want to be, oh, it's 50-50 on who's going to show up and who's going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So how do you adapt to that going forward? Like, is that the type of like situation where you start to bring in like sports psychologists and working with people like that?
Yeah, but because of COVID, I'm honest. So if someone asks me a question, I'll answer it, but I also ramble. You probably noticed. So yeah, I mean, there's something. But even in the gym, which is another mad scenario. Even in the gym, for the first 10 minutes, a week one, day one will get the better of me, because I need to get out of this slow start. I need to get out there stuck in this first gear, and the longer any fight goes on, the more confident I then get. But unfortunately, I have been, and the times I have tried to start quick, it's messed up, which has put me back again on wanting to start quick again. You know, but I am. There's like you know, little things to trigger an emotional response that you know, that I'm trying to adapt and work on to then go forward and use.
Because you kind of touched on this a wee bit earlier as well, but what is your biggest motivators, like, when going into a fight or just in life?
Well, the biggest thing is like, it's weird, but I worry that when I die and I'm gone, that I'll have to spend eternity in a room with me who said yes to all the things I said no to, and after to hear all these amazing stories because I said no to that opportunity, or because I didn't bother, or because it was long, or because I was tired. So that motivates me to always constantly say yes to things, which annoys people. But if a fight comes up, people say, "Oh yeah, but just be careful on who you pick." But when you've had but in my head, it's not, "Oh, he's an amazing fighter. There, you know, I could lose." In my head, it's, he's an amazing fighter, I could win. If you know what I mean. If you say no to opportunity, you know what the answer is? Nothing. But if you say yes, everything could open up, which has proven itself for me loads of times, because I've gone and lost, but from that, someone's messaged, and I've had an opportunity to go off, travel off from that.
That is an amazing way to look at it. Like, everything you say no to, like, imagine you're stuck in a room with a kind of arrogant version of yourself.
Yeah, arrogant, in a suit tie, like a doctor, just telling you everything they missed out on.
Just like firing 50 pound notes at you.
Yeah, everything, whatever. Just say, "Oh, do you remember when you said no to this?" But for me, it would always be fight related. Do you remember you said no to this fight? Yeah, well, this is what happened. I won from that, blah blah blah. But you said no. You said no. You know, life isn't about playing it safe. You know?
No, absolutely not. And that's evident with what you do for a living. Like, get in the cage. Like, that's something that's like completely no safe. So do you have any like pre-fight superstitions or traditions you like to do?
Yeah, I'm full of them. I like to listen to certain songs, but it does change, because I make like for like a fight camp playlist, so I try to change it all the time. But believe it or not, it's so eclectic. I mean, mine, I like country and western, but then my playlist would go from country and western to DMX. You know what I mean? And then back to I just like music that tells a story. If you know what I mean. Yeah. Everything's left hand first, or left foot. The fighter always leads with his jab. So left hand gets wrapped, left hand gets put in a glove first, things like that. Left leg goes in my shorts first. And when I go into the ring, palm down, fist down. I do that 7 times. I don't know, just started doing it once. I had a good fight after I did it, and I just carried it on.
Right. That must be quite hard to keep track of on fight night, along with everything else.
But yeah, the funny thing is, when I forget to do something, I'm then thinking, "Oh, I forgot to do that. It's going to be a bad fight," and then you've got that in your head then. But for me, that's me personally. Everyone's different.
That makes sense, to be fair, because you get a lot of people like that. Like, even just in life, you get people, if they walk under a ladder, they get terrified that something bad's going to happen to them that day.
Yeah.
same with like Friday the 13th. There's people out there that won't leave the house and fight because it's just programmed into them that something really bad's going to happen to them that day. It's a bit mad.
It's the same with the walkout song. A lot of fighters like a particular walkout song.
Yeah.
And sometimes they can't use mine because I haven't got the rights to, or blah, whatever it may be, and that can really throw you off as well.
Yeah, because you see that. Let's see sometimes if like a fighter's like switched walkout songs and then they've lost. Like the next fight, they're not using that walkout song again.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just a bad omen. So what's your like other than just working? What is your life like outside of MMA?
I mean, I like to have a laugh. I think life will find any excuse to kick you down if you let it. So I like to go out to the pub, jukebox, pool, have a laugh, but also family time as well. I like to spend time, just chill out, just relax at home with the kids and the missus. Because I'm away, I work away, you know, for so long. But that's it really. It's work, train, home, and once if depends on the fight camp, but once a week when we're all up here. I don't know if I'm going to get anyone in trouble, but when we're all up here working away, we all go out one night of the rotation. I don't know if wives know that, but
do you feel that's something you kind of need to do? Like you need to have that downtime away from MMA, otherwise it just consumes you.
I wouldn't say away from MMA. I'd say when we're at work and things like that, even though you know, and at home and whatever. So sometimes you just need a few drinks, relax, and just not think about anything. If you know what I mean, just have a laugh.
Yeah.
Because we spend 12 hours a day, years together. So you know we're all like family anyway. All of us up here. So when we give each other stick all day long, and I've had it. You know, even if I lie on the floor to do something in work, one of them will say, "Oh, I thought you were having a fight then," you know, but it's banter, and I get it all. And so when people message me abuse, I'm like, "Oh God, I hear this all day in work. That's nothing. It doesn't affect me." You know, I get it. So yeah, we all go out, we all have a laugh, and then that's it then.
So when you get all these messages, you're just sitting there like, mate, that's nothing. You should see what my pal said to me.
Yeah, that's weak. That's weak.
You should just start replying that to all the messages. You start recording your pals and go, look, this is what my pal said to me. Up your game next time.
Oh yeah. Oh, I get it. No end. But again, that's bants. But I know they all support me. But it is just fun. We give each other. It's the only way to get through it.
No, absolutely, and that's what pals do. They do that to get you through the hard times as well. Because it's like the old saying: if you don't laugh, you'll grieve. So you just need to have that kind of boy, like the kind of boys' time sort of idea. It's very important.
And you know, they're great. You know, great boss, great company. Look, if I need time off, I just go ask them. Say, listen, I've got to fight. I need this day to travel, that day to fight. That day I'll travel back. You know, 3 days, 4 days. If it's abroad, they'll give me 5. And they do take it on my holidays, but also they've never once said, listen, you can't. You know.
Yeah, because that must be really good, because it's essentially you're balancing like 2 jobs at the same time. So having that kind of understanding relationship with your boss, that must be amazing.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's an ex boxer as well, which helps. But also, it's not like, you know, I always say, don't pay me for those days and take a few of my holidays. Got to keep it fit. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. Just go. Just look after yourself. You know, and win and come back. So
we kind of spoke about it a wee bit earlier, and we're both hoping it's a long time away. But where do you see yourself after MMA?
Well, obviously, still working. I'm still working. I do enjoy work, and what's good is with pipeline all over the country, and the company I'm for, they've got contracts all over the world. So I'll just really throw myself in more to trying to get work abroad with it. Yeah. but that's it, really. I mean, it's going to be difficult because even when I had a knee, I dislocated my knee and I couldn't like walk or run and train, and then obviously fight. That was bad. That was bad enough. So when I'm fit, when I'm healthy and retired, I don't know what I'll do. I'll just train.
You'll probably end up getting into bowling. You'll be like one of those old guys that do the bowls on a Saturday night that take it really serious. Don't drink the night before or anything.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But at the minute, whenever I think about retiring, I just stop straight away because it just makes me sad. So, which is a good sign because it's never crossed. I mean, sometimes, don't get me wrong, I've been that angry. I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I'm angry, and everyone around me just goes, yeah, okay. And then I'll listen to a song or something like that, but then I'm like, right, let's get back in it. And again, I don't have, it might sound whatever, but I don't have an emotional attachment to any of my opponents. Like, I never think, oh, I want to fight him, or I want to smash him, which is probably bad, but I don't feel you have to. Like, that is wasted emotion in my book. I want to go in there, I want to do my best. I know I'm stuck in first gear, and I know sometimes I don't have confidence in my abilities. So I don't know. Maybe coaching, but again, with working away all the time, how can I tell an up and comer or start coaching someone? Oh, by the way, I'm going to disappear for a month with work. You know, so I'll probably just work, which will be sad.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense, to be fair, especially with the type of work you're doing. But as you're saying there, you're nowhere near retiring yet.
Nah, no.
There's still a lot more fights to come, and hopefully soon things can start kind of normalising again. We can start to get regular shows and get back up to Scotland to fight.
Yeah, definitely.
Because was that in the Forza show you were supposed to be on?
That's correct. Yeah.
So that's kind of all we've got time for tonight, Ben. Do you have any social medias you want to shout out, anything like that?
No, I'm cool. Just follow me if you want, Facebook or Instagram.
Right, no worries. And thanks very much at home for listening, guys. We'll catch you again.